What is up, beautiful people? Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Machele, your get-to-it girl with contagious energies. So today's video, I have invited a friend. I was inspired by how well she's co-parenting with her partner. And I was like, there are a lot of people out there struggling with co-parenting. Maybe she could advise some of you guys on what you're doing wrong, how you can stop being bitter, and whatever the case. I'm not saying that you're bitter. I'm just putting that out there because we do know there are some bitter people. I'm just going to give her a chance to introduce herself, to tell us where she's from, who she is. If you have not subscribed, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment below, and we move. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm Untitled Chapter. I'm based in Kempton Park. I run an organization called Imperfect Moms Foundation, which is a non-profit organization for young moms practically. So yeah, that's what I practically do. I'm a co-parent. I'm very conscious about it. I love the idea of positive co-parenting. So I'm here to give you guys advice on positive co-parenting, on how to do it, and just so we can live a stress-free life with our baby daddies.
If it's possible.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about your organization. I wasn't aware that you had one. What is it about? Like, what do you do?
So basically my organization, it's a non-profit organization, right? So we are a support group for young moms. When you are young moms, there are a lot of challenges that we go through via society, via family, and just as individual moms. You get what I'm saying? So we created a safe space for young moms to be able to speak whatever they are feeling, ask for advice, and just for us as a group of young moms to support each other in any means possible. So that's it.
Okay, and how can people find you? How can people join?
We have a Facebook page whereby you guys can inbox us and I can send everybody the link that is interested in it, or they can text me on Instagram as well, just for them to join the group. And yeah, every mom is welcome, literally.
And what's your Instagram handle?
Our Instagram handle is my Instagram handle, it's Kumos_mama. And then the foundation does not have an Instagram handle though, but we have the Facebook page.
Oh, that's good. So if anybody out there is a single mom struggling, you don't even have to be a single mom, you're just a new mom. I know the feeling of being a new mom and having, everybody just look at you and be like, you did this wrong and you did that wrong. So I mean, it's really needed, So to anybody watching this video, if you know anybody who would need something like this, please tell them to check out the Facebook page and also check Akuma's Mama on Instagram. All right. So let's talk about your relationship with the baby daddy. How did that happen? How did you fall pregnant? How did you find out? Let's get into it.
Whoa. Okay. So basically, me and my baby daddy were quite good friends, since primary and high school as well. And then we just got into a little bit of a situation whereby eventually we got together and then the baby was done. So yeah, I wouldn't really say it was something serious, but we were definitely just playing around, you know how foolish young people are, we go out, we have fun, mistakes happen, and then the bundle of joy is there. So yeah, it was quite difficult because we weren't really close at that time. So I found out like 2 to 3 months when I was pregnant, and I haven't spoken to him after that day. Like it was just that once off thing, and then I had to. And then I had to reach out to him and be like, yo, this is the situation. And then, yeah, things started working out from there.
But how did he receive it? Like when you called him and said, hey, bro, guess what? We're pregnant. Like, what was his reaction? Because, 3 months you guys hadn't spoken and you guys just had a few drinks and that happened. And now I'm a parent.
Yeah, well, he didn't literally, it was unexpected for him. He was not ready. He was also just living his life, the bachelor's lifestyle. So he was just living his life. He received the news. He was not there at all. He was like, no ways. I'm not ready for this. So what's the plan? And I was telling him like, dude, like long overdue to actually do anything about this. So we just need to
Yeah.
find a way forward and see how we can actually make this work. So
Mm.
yeah, it took a lot of convincing, but eventually he understood.
Sure. I mean, I could imagine even if I was a guy and someone called me and said I'm pregnant, I'd be like, whoa,
You know
no.
what I'm saying? Especially if you are living your life, hey?
Yeah. So how old is your son now?
He's 6.
Oh, he's 6. That's beautiful. So does he live with you or does he live with the father?
No, he's full time with his dad. Like during the week, he's with his dad from Monday to Friday. And then on Fridays, I pick him up and I take him home on Sundays.
Okay. And then
So
how did you guys come to that decision? I'm sure it must have been so hard for you to just like let him go. And at what age did he start living with his dad?
well, he started living with his dad when he was 4 years old, when he started actually going to crèche. The reason for that is because I was not financially stable to actually take care of him, take him to school via transport and all those kind of stuff. So his dad and I came to the agreement where, because his dad actually has a full-time job, so his dad is
Mm.
actually able to support him. His dad has a car, so daddy can take him to school, fetch him from school, sort out the things that I needed at crèche, because these kids at crèche, they need money, they need this, they need
Especially
that.
these posh Christians.
You get what I'm saying? So I wasn't fully stable to actually provide that kind of foundation for him. So that's how we got to the agreement of him actually taking over for the kid
Taking
when it comes to
over.
those kind of stuff.
And it's a very rare situation where you hear a woman talk about giving her child to the father to take care of. Because, I mean, you speak about how you're not financially stable, but some people would use that as a weapon to be like, I'm going to keep the child, you just keep giving me the money. You understand? So for you to get to,
Exactly.
that's a different type of maturity, to say, okay, I can't take
Exactly.
care of the child, therefore you take the child. But in the 4 years that you were with him, was he visiting you regularly? Was your son going to his
Yes.
father weekends, or how was that working?
The roles were switched. He had the child on weekends, and then I had the child during the week. So
Okay.
that's how it was working. And then now, literally, the roles just switched
Yeah.
up, where
I
he
mean,
had the child during the week, and then I have the kid on
mm,
weekends.
your child is 6. So have you guys like had the conversation of why you guys aren't together, or why he has to bounce from house to house? Has he started asking questions?
Not really. I think
Oh.
because I actually introduced it to him once he started realizing the up and down, up and down. I actually
Mm.
did sit him down and let him know, look, daddy and mommy aren't together anymore. So this is the situation. You're going to be living with daddy during the week, and I'll fetch you on weekdays. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change the fact that we both love him, It doesn't really change anything. It's just the whole living dynamics that are different. And baby daddy has a very supportive family as well, especially when it comes to the granny and the aunts. So he
Yeah.
does have that motherly figure when he's still by daddy's place.
But his daddy's place. That's good. Let's talk about child support, because when it comes to co-parenting, I think when it comes to just two people having a kid, whether it's co-parenting, divorce, whatever the case may be, I think child support is like the biggest issue. Do you pay child support?
That's true, but we never got to the situation where we had to actually do the whole child supporting thing, because dad and I got to agreement where I said, look, I'm not financially stable and I can't provide the way I would love to provide for the child. So we came to the agreement that, okay, daddy said, you know what, Anta, sort yourself out, whether you're going to school or find a job, figure out what's going on with you, and I will financially take care of the child with whatever he needs, just as long as you are mentally and emotionally stable, so that you are able to actually be there for the kid. Because like my baby daddy was very worried when it came to my son's emotional well-being.
Yeah.
So he was very enthusiastic about the first
Mm.
4 years that I actually spent with the child. He saw the difference. He saw what a positive impact I had on the kid when it came to the emotional stability and the child feeling loved and the child being
Yeah.
aware of who he is, You know, I tried to push that whole thing of daddy, 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 even
Yeah.
though if daddy wasn't around all the time. So we never really had child support battles or anything like that.
But can I play devil's advocate? Let's just turn this around. Let's talk to the mom and say you were the guy, okay? You were the guy, and you made this girl pregnant, and now she's saying, "Look, I can't take care of the kid. You know, you take care of the kid." How would you have felt?
You know, honestly, if it was the old me,
Okay.
I definitely would have flipped the table. Like, hell no, what are you talking about? But but when we think of more of a reality sense and the child's well-being, I feel like it's better to get to an understanding, regardless of how you're feeling or what you're going. As long as the child's well-being is put first, I think that you should definitely prioritize whatever will actually make the situation easier for you.
That is so true. I mean, every relationship has, you know, conflict. So how do you guys, you know, how did you guys deal with the conflict that you guys face? Because I mean, personally for me, I've been in a situation where I was a single mom for like 2 years, I think, a year or 2 years or whatever. And I had problems that I was just like, you know what, God, you handle this, because if I have to handle, I'm gonna kill somebody's child. Okay. So how did you, you know, like deal with it and come to a point where you guys are actually having positive parenting, co-parenting?
It actually wasn't easy. From the beginning, it was really tough because all of the decisions that I used to make were based on my emotional feelings and what I felt was right for me. And as time went, I actually realized that causing conflict with my child's father makes the whole situation hostile. And that's not what we want for our child. You know, we don't want
Yeah.
our child always bickering over things, and then the child is going to end up feeling like, damn, I'm the problem,
I'm the
you know,
problem.
and that is not the case, and that's not the case. So we got to a point where we decided, like, let's communicate effectively. If you have a problem, you can speak about it, but it shouldn't be decisions made based from emotions. You know, it should be more realistic decisions, more rational decisions, just so that we can actually get each other's points across, so that one can also understand the other one's feelings when it comes to this kind of situation. So I think us getting to the communication line is the one that actually made things easier, and also establishing what we want as individuals for ourselves. You know, I think that's also important, because I need to support him in whatever he's doing so that he can prosper in it, you know, and he needs to support me as well in whatever I need to do, so that we can actually come together and make it very positive for the child. So the child should not feel like they're a burden, or they shouldn't feel
Or they
like
feel like they're
they're
the
not.
problem.
You get what I'm saying? Exactly. So our main priority was actually making sure that the child can actually see that we can communicate, we can come to an agreement without arguing and all of that. So compromise is a very, very big step when it comes to co-parenting. Sometimes it's not what we want as individuals, but at the end of the day, we definitely need to support each other as well, emotionally, physically, mentally. We definitely need to be there for each other, just to make things a bit easier, and understanding whatever is beneficial for the child.
But can I ask you a question? Like, I don't know how to ask this question, but I mean, you speak about how you guys weren't in a relationship, right? And you had this baby. Did you guys not wonder maybe we should try a relationship for the benefit of the child? I mean, you sound like you two are just two good people. So, were the feelings
That's the
there?
thing. That's the thing. He was living a lifestyle that I did not want. You get what I'm saying? Especially after I became a mother. There was just certain things that he would do, you know, go out on weekends, the whole weekend, and those kind of stuff in a relationship. It doesn't really make
it's not
sense.
who you want to deal with.
Exactly. So I felt like he will not be there for me the way I will want him to be there. And me trying to force it, and me always bickering, and me always nagging, it's just going to make things work. It really won't make things work. So, you know what? Us being separate and just us being able to do this thing as positively as we can just could benefit us both. So I think that's how everything worked out. And because we also weren't there emotionally, you know, it was just like, nah, I don't see him as a husband.
It was a vibe. It was a vibe. There was no emotions.
Exactly.
Sure. I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, it's something that I think most people are also going to think about. Like, why didn't they just get together? You know. But anyway,
you know, a lot of people actually do ask us that. Like, why don't you guys think of doing that? I just feel like he won't give me what I need when it comes to the relationship type of dynamics, and that's just going to make me a nagging mama or a bitter baby mama. You know, friends are gonna hate me because now I'll probably be making excuses with the kid. Yo, the kid needs milk, and not even. I just need the nigga here. You know? So I feel like if we actually got into that dynamic, it kind of would have made things a bit more hostile, because now it would have been my own personal emotions being bittered, and with him as well. The lifestyle he was living, it wasn't a family orientated kind of lifestyle. So we just decided, like, you know what, just for things to work out, let us be our own individuals. And then if you find a partner or you find whoever that you feel will make you happy, do that. You know, as long as you're happy, as long as the child is happy, then we can definitely move forward.
And the child is have you guys introduced any new partners to him? Because I mean, he's in 2 different homes, so he knows that you guys are dating. Maybe he hasn't met them yet, but like, at what age or what time or in the relationship do you think you'd introduce him to your partner, or has he been introduced to his dad's new girlfriend or whatever?
Okay, baby daddy and I spoke about this, right? We will not be introducing any partners to our child unless marriage is on the table, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't mean you are dating. We don't care. Don't introduce that person to the child, because as well, it comes to that point where people are thinking, if you are a single mother and you are looking for a partner, you are looking for a step parent as well for the child, right? Trying to not instill that, because my child has a father, so I'm not looking for a stepfather, because my child is already set with the father. The father is there in everything. Same thing with me as well. He's very aware that I'm a very present mom, so he does not need to put any female in the child's life. I don't mean mama or, I mean, mom, that's mommy. That's mommy. So no, we don't introduce our partner to the child or anything like that until marriage is on the table. Literally.
And the living situation, is he always gonna live with his dad, or at some point would you like to live with him full time?
No, definitely daddy is pushing for him to stay with me full time. That he's very, very passionate about. He doesn't like the idea of baby staying with daddy, you know, because he feels like I am more emotionally invested in the child's well-being, and he's not really that, you know, he's a typical man, you know. He feels like as long as he's providing financially, then cool, but the emotional side, he would like me to be 100% present. So eventually, once I get on my feet and I'm being able to actually take the kid to school and do the things that he is doing right now, and then I'm definitely having the child full time. No fights, no problems, nothing. Yeah.
I understand that you guys are obviously like this. I mean, out of 100 people, you are the exception, right? Of this perfect co-parenting that is working, and we are happy and all of that. But now, how do, like, for you, let's say there's somebody out there who is having problems with their baby mama or their baby daddy issues. Like, what's your advice for them to get to a point where they are actually co-parenting with tolerating each other? Because I think that's I think the most difficult thing is we can't tolerate each other once we were in a relationship or once we had sex. There's just that thing that just, just you stay in your corner. It's my way or the highway. But from you, because of the position that you guys had the baby, I think it will be a perfect example for you to say, okay, in my case, this is what happened. And I feel as if for us to get here, we had to do something. Because I feel like nowadays, there's a lot of single parents out there. There's a lot of baby mama, baby daddy drama out there.
True.
But how do we minimize that? How do we minimize that drama and have a lot of positive, co-parenting?
You know what? I feel like emotions. You see, if all the decisions that you are going to be doing with the child and the outcome or the solution is based on your emotional feelings, it's definitely not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they also need to be able to establish their relationship at that point. If you guys had a bad breakup and you're not willing to get back together, accept it, accept it and move on. And whatever question that the baby daddy is going to be asking or the baby mama is going to be asking, make sure that your response or the decisions are not based on your personal emotional feelings. Because emotions tend to be very irrational, and then you end up deciding things that tomorrow you're going to regret, like, oh damn, actually I could have just sent the kid away for the weekend, So I feel like also the emotional intelligence, emotional knowledge, figure it out, like accept your situation and move on from it. From that, you'll be able to actually provide, like rationalize and reason on a realistic level instead of it being based on your emotions. Just because the guy did you dirty, now you're going to deprive him from his child. No, girl, that's not helping you. It's not helping the kid either. But it's just making the situation much worse and much hostile than what it actually is. So I just feel like do not base your decisions or anything on your emotions. Honestly, that's what I feel.
But I'm sure, somebody's probably rolling your eyes and like, oh, you're speaking from a place of comfort, you get what I mean? Like, you haven't dealt with this man. You don't know what.
That's true. That's true. That's why I say accepting. You need to accept your situation. If you accept what you're going through and accept that baby daddy does not want you anymore, or accept that the lifestyle that baby daddy wants to live and it's not for you, accept it and just find a way of moving on, especially for yourself, because holding on, it's not just hurting the kid, it's damaging you as well emotionally. Because you're going to keep wondering, why doesn't this guy want me? What did I do wrong? And all of that. And then you're going to have personal insecurities that you shouldn't even be having in the first place.
And I also think just putting the child's needs first. Like, whatever decision you make, just make sure that the child is the reason you're making that decision, and not because now you see him on Instagram with another girl, or she's on the beach with another guy, and now you're being jealous. I think the child should be like the first priority whenever you make any decisions. So you spoke about how you're not trying to find a father for your child because your child already has a father. You're trying to find a husband for yourself. But will that husband not also play the role of a father?
Yes, definitely. When we get there, if there is process, because I can't be introducing him to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that I'm finding and I feel like he's going to marry me. Because these niggas can switch up during Lobola, I know, and be like, no, sorry, I'm not there anymore. So I feel like you need to be sure whatever you're putting your child into, you definitely need to be sure, so that tomorrow the child doesn't turn around and say, yo, that one was my daddy. Yo, that one was my daddy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, for me to put him in a situation where my son is actually going to meet my partner, it's when I am secure and I feel like, okay, you know what? This guy is actually serious about me. He has a way forward. Maybe at least half lobola nyana,
At least
just to show. And before that, obviously, you let your partner know that, look, I have a kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this is the dynamic, this and this and that. And then as time goes by, you just gradually introduce the child to the guy. Not as daddy,
Mm.
no.
No,
Not
yeah.
as daddy. This is uncle whoever. You get what I'm saying? And then
Mm.
as time goes by, I think the child will also adjust and he will see that, okay, this guy is more than mommy's friend, you know?
Mm.
So, and also it's very, very tricky because we do get into relationships where our kids end up being abused because it's actually not the man's child. So you don't
Yeah.
want to be put in uncertain situations and then down the line the child is being abused, you know, and
Mm.
stuff like that. So I definitely make sure that I put my son's emotions first and his dad's
Right.
emotions first. I see how his dad feels about it. If the guy is willing to be in my life, I'll introduce the guy to daddy. Daddy, look, this is the guy that's going to be in my life. Daddy also
Mm.
needs to vibe with the guy, you know, and agree so that daddy and my partner can also have a relationship besides being with me. Because at the end of the day, my son will be permanently living with my partner. So daddy
Mm.
also needs to be emotionally content and mentally content that, okay,
That's
when my
true.
son is with this guy, I can
I'm
literally
at
trust him,
peace.
you know? Yes.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
feel like, yo, this relationship things, oh, they're very, very tricky.
Yeah. And do you think there are women out there who, like single moms out there, who look for men to raise their kids?
Yes, definitely they are because they feel like there's this gap, you know, because there's this whole thing that a child needs a mom and a dad. So just to balance it out. So the single moms that don't actually have father figures in their child's life, they actually seek for it somewhere else. And they tend to get so desperate that they're willing to take whatever is there, you know, as
Mm.
long as my son or my daughter has somebody that they can call daddy, then I'm
Yes.
okay with it. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I
Mm.
feel like that is also a bit toxic.
Yeah.
It's not okay because you need to put your child first. You need to know that whatever situation that you're putting your child in, your child needs to feel safe. Also,
Mm.
you as a mother, you need to feel safe with the partner as well. So yeah, definitely, I do feel like they're
Yes.
out.
That one is good for them figure there. Bring him here.
Because
I
they
think
go with
also
the
maybe
outside, they take the outside and they feel like just because this guy is can give me money or this guy can fetch me, this guy can do this, they feel like that's enough. And honestly,
yeah,
it's not.
it's
It's really
not.
not. Emotions as well. Also the way your partner treats your child when you are not there. It's a big factor.
Mm.
Whatever that partner does when you are
Mm.
not there with your child, it damages the child. And then there are some moms that are willing to overlook whatever the child says just because this guy puts food on the table on a monthly basis. This guy fetches the child.
Yeah.
And then these kids grow up to be emotionally damaged. And then you wonder, like, why is he like this? Only for you to forget that, oh, damn, I actually have a shit partner, eh? Sorry.
Yeah. Not to say I wasn't aware of it, but I didn't think it was so open that people actually, talk about it, that there are women out there who just, go on a hunt for father figures for their kids. So when I first heard about it, I thought it was like, it's so sad. Why don't you just concentrate on you, and the child instead of putting this child in situations that they don't belong in? But what
The perfect
advice would
father
you give
figure will
somebody?
come.
Mhm. Yeah,
He will
yeah, the
come.
father figure will come. Yeah.
He
Yes,
will come. If
definitely
he
will come.
sees how perfect of a mom you are, he will
Mm,
definitely love that and he will be there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I also feel like you're a reflection of whatever you attract. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be desperate, you are going to get desperate men out there. And some of those desperate men don't have good intentions.
And especially good intention, not just for you, but for your kids.
They need to put my kid first. I can wait. Like I can wait, hey?
I can
As long
wait.
as if my son says jump and you are willing to jump, my nigga, I'm gonna jump for
Mm.
you too. I'm
But
literally
then
gonna
does
jump.
the whole your son telling you to jump thing, does that not become a problem when you are actually in a marriage?
Sorry?
You said that when your son says jump, you jump, right? But what I'm saying is, does that not become a problem in the marriage if you are married to this person, you introduce him to your son, and now your son says jump.
Okay, well, you know, there's discipline and there's free will. So when I say jump, I mean like whenever my son needs him and he's willing to be there open-heartedly, then I'm going to jump for him as well. You know, but it shouldn't be that way where it oversteps the boundaries of parenting, and it oversteps the boundaries of you being the father figure in the household. You know, there's discipline, and also that friendship level as well when it comes to that. So I need somebody that is willing to be there for my son, regardless of whatever him and I are going through or whatever he's feeling. You know, I don't need him to brush my son off just because he has a bad week. No.
Yeah. No, that's true. What advice would you give to people who are trying to co-parent, or somebody who wants to co-parent?
You know, people say this all the time, guys. Communicate, hey? Like, communicate, compromise, and understand. Those are like my three best things. My baby daddy and I, we communicate basically on a weekly basis, because you know, during the week he's basically with my son. So when we communicate on a weekly basis, it's him updating me on the child's well-being, on how things went at school, his behavior at home, the things he's watching on YouTube, you know, and also him as a father as well. If he had a terrible week this week, you know, he'd let me know, like, yo, Anta, I'm not okay. I'm going through this and this and that. And I'd advise him as best as possible so that whatever I'm advising him on, it can reflect positively on the child, you know, because whatever he goes through as an individual, it does end up going to the kid. So I need to make sure that I am also his emotional carrier, so that whatever he does with the kid, I can understand, you know. If he can say, I had a rough week this week, I'm very, very tired, so I couldn't spend time with the child because I did ABC. I definitely understand. I will not be mad at him, you know, and go off and be like, yeah, you are not a good dad. No, because I'm understanding his situation, and we are communicating about what's actually going through. So it makes it much easier.
And then what's your advice to a single mom? Like, she's a single mom, she's losing it, this man is just not helping her financially, you know, he's really trying to drive her to the tavern and she doesn't want to go there. Like, what's your advice to her?
Focus on yourself. Like, sort yourself out emotionally. You know, if you are emotionally stable, any rock that comes to you, you can definitely handle it, and it would not hurt the child, no matter what situation it is. So focus on yourself, put yourself first. You know what they say, a happy mom equals a happy baby. So if you are not happy as a mother and you are not content as a mother with yourself as well, you're definitely not going to create a friendly environment. Yes, you're going to be shouting at the kids because you have a frustration of daddy and all of that, running after baby daddy and all of that. That's really, it's a no-no for me. So I feel like sort yourself out, focus on yourself, and that whatever you're doing for yourself is definitely going to have a positive impact when it comes to the kid. Stop stressing about other people. Stop stressing about things that you cannot control. Stop it. You can't. Just move on. That's it.
Yeah. And I also think it's important for you as a mom to not be desperate, you know, because I think the biggest problem is most women, you know, are either have a baby and don't have any finance, so they nag the baby daddy. So instead of using that energy to nag, rather find something that can even bring you a little bit of cash. Because then when you're not desperate, he gives you respect, you understand? Because when he sees you're not nagging, your life is moving, now he's trying to figure out what's going on there. You know, is there somebody nagging my child, whatever the case may be. You get what I mean? I think it's very important. So, you know what, I'm really happy we had this conversation, because I know of a lot of people who had you know, children because, you know, they just met a person, they had a few drinks, and that happened. And also there are people who are in relationships where they think this man could be the love of my life, and then jiggy after the baby, this guy decides to just. What do you think causes people to break up after they have a child?
You know what? The thing is, once we get into the dynamic where a third person is involved, we expect so much. You know what I'm saying? We expect so much, and we are hoping that things can stay the same, only to realize that no, change is inevitable. I'm learning to be a new mom, and he is learning to be a dad. So we usually expect things to be perfect. We usually expect things to stay the way they were. And we don't acknowledge that us as individuals, we are changing as well. Because men also tend to think that, you know what, she's a woman, she knows what to do, and that's not always the case. That's not always the case. Also, us as women, we're like, man, he's a guy. He knows what to do as a dad. And only to realize that as much as we are learning as well, they are learning as well. So we need to accept each other's journeys. We need to communicate about their journeys, about how they are feeling and what the problem is, and how we can actually find a solution to the problem. But sometimes, the love does fade. Honestly, sometimes the love does fade, because probably this was not the ideal relationship that you were actually looking for, because apparently when it comes to men, when they date a woman, they know if they're planning to marry them and all of that. So now with the baby involved, it kind of just changes the whole dynamic. Also, us women, we become very emotional as well. We become nagging as well, and we expect him to be perfect. And they expect.
We don't become nagging. I don't accept that we become nagging. Dude, if you do what you're supposed to do, I'm not gonna nag you.
You get what I'm saying? So I feel like that's also the problem. Men hate women that nag. So if you're going to start nagging, he's going to start seeing you as a problem. And you shouldn't be a problem. You really should be his company face. He should be able to tell you, like, yo, I can't do this. Like, I can't. You should also be able to tell him, like, yo, I've had enough. I can't do this. So we need to be able to, like, emotionally balance each other. We should know that one could be high, this one could be low. So how do we work around just finding a balance?
Yeah, but then I wish that could happen before the child's in the picture.
That's in most cases, you're like, damn it.
Yeah, but now the red signs were there. You were turning red flags into hearts. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We really the red flags, and then when we start complaining about the red flags and all of that, also the opposite person is like, how can't you have a problem with this when I've been doing this for the past few months? Now you start analyzing all of the mistakes. You start over analyzing all of everything, and that just blows up everything, literally.
Yeah. All right. So what's your final words in conclusion to our conversation?
Well, my final word, co-parenting is not easy, guys. When it comes to co-parenting, it's not easy, and we need to accept it, that there is no perfect co-parenting dynamic. It's all about what works for you and your family. What works for you as an individual, what works for your baby daddy, and what works for our immediate family around us. And we need to accept it. If you can't change anything, don't try to change anything. If you don't have money to support the child, don't make it a big problem. Make a plan, make a plan. Don't bother people about it. Don't be naggy. Don't be bitter. Just always find solutions to all the problems that you have, instead of having complaints before you actually find the solution. So yeah, I just say, like, find what works for you and stick to it. That's it.
Yeah. And I think if you're in a tough situation, just think about it as, okay, the baby daddy's dead. What will I do? Who will I run to? He's not here.
You get what I'm saying?
I'll have to make it. Fake it till you make it, girl. Keep it moving.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So literally.
No, man. Thank you so much for accepting my invite and taking the time to be on this episode. I really did enjoy it. Definitely. I hope we could have another session, you know.
I hope so
Because
too.
it is rough. It is rough out here. You know, people are having a tough, so it's really nice to have people share the experiences, the people on the ground, not me. I can't share my experience about co-parenting. I don't co-parent at all. So it's really nice to hear from somebody that, hey, listen, it does work if you just put your emotions aside and you put the child first, you know. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Demachele, your Gap-Tooth girl with contagious energies. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and also to follow Kuma's Mama on Instagram and engage, you know. I mean, come on. But
Thank you for
thank you.
having
I'll
me.
see you guys in my next video. Ciao.
Bye.